Hi everyone, in this video we will discuss all the solutions of the chapter recursion from the practical book of class 12. Now the first question is like this: consider the following function num underscore vowels which takes a string s of lowercase letters and returns the number of vowels in the string. So you can see the function num underscore vowels is defined like this. It is taking the string s as its parameter. Now the base case is like this: if a is equal to null or empty string, then it has to return 0. Otherwise, num in rest is another variable which is assigned with the recursive function call, that is num underscore vowels, and here the parameter is s1 colon. That means the string s will be starting from index number 1 till the end of the string. Okay, now we will compare s of 0. That means the character which is present at index number 0 of string s, whether it is in a, e, I, o, u or not. That means whether it is a vowel or not. If it is a vowel, then it has to return 1 plus num in rest. Num in rest is nothing but num underscore vowels called with the value s1 colon. Okay. Else, that means if s of 0 is not a vowel, then it has to return 0 plus num in rest. So this is how your recursive function is defined. Now we can call this function, and here we are passing a value, one string value, that is recursion, and it will show you the number of vowels present in this string recursion. As you can see here, there are 4 vowels, so the output will be 4. Now consider the following recursive function mist which takes 2 integer parameters. Now trace the execution of the call to this function. So you can see the function mist is defined over here. It is taking 2 integers a and b, and here you can see the base condition is like this: if a is greater than equal to b, then it has to return b. Otherwise, your recursive call is like this: mist will be called once again, but this time the integer parameters are like this: a becomes a into 2 and b becomes b divided by 2. Okay, and the result of this function is stored in a variable mist underscore r. Then it has to return a plus mist underscore r. So this is how the function is. Now if you call this function with the values 1 and 32, then you'll get the output as 11. Now let's see how the execution is happening. Now if you trace the recursion, then you can see first of all mist function is called with the values 1 and 32. So a value is 1 and b is 32. Now mist underscore r is equal to mist of 2 comma 16. A becomes a into 2 and b becomes b divided by 2. So mist function is called with the values 2 and 16. Then it will check whether a is greater than b or not. Since it is not greater than b, so it will go to the else part and it will return 1 plus mist of 2 comma 16. Okay. Now again mist of 2 comma 16 is called. Here a value is 2 and b is 16. So mist underscore r becomes mist of 4 comma 8 because a value got doubled and b value got halved. Okay. Now it return 2 plus mist of 4 comma 8 because it has to return the value of a plus mist of 4 comma 8. Okay. Now mist of 4 comma 8 is called. Now here a value is 4 and b value is 8. So mist underscore r becomes mist of 8 comma 4 because a value got doubled and b value got halved. So it has to return 4 plus mist of 8 comma 4. Okay, because 4 is the value of a, so it has to return a plus mist of 8 comma 4. Now again mist of 8 comma 4 is called. Now this time your a value is 8 and b value is 4 and a is greater than b, so it will execute the if part. that is it will return the value of b. Okay, and that is your base case and it will come out. That's all. So if you just go on adding, it will finally it will return 4. Earlier it has returned again 4. Before that it has returned 2, then 1. So all these values will get added and it will give you 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, that is 11. Now consider the following recursive function that returns the number of consonants in the string s and debug the code below. So you can see the function is like this num underscore consonants and it is taking a string s as its argument. Now if s equal to empty string, then it has to return 0, which is the best case. Else, again the recursive call is made over here. Num underscore consonants is called with a value s of 1 colon. That means here the string will have all the values excluding the character which is present at index number 0 or the first character, and the returned value will be stored in a variable num underscore in underscore rest. Okay, now if s of 0 not in a e i o u, that means the first character of this string is a consonant, then it has to return num in rest plus 1. That means we are counting the number of consonants. Else, that means if it is a vowel, then it has to simply return num in rest. Okay, so like this the recursive call is made, and by the end of the execution you'll count the number of consonants present in the string. So we are calling this function num underscore consonants with the string Python, and now you can see the output is 5 because there are 5 number of consonants present in this string Python. Now let's see the code tracing of this particular function. Now as you can see, num consonants is called with the string Python in it, and it will check for the first character, that is P. And P, as you know, it is a consonant, so it will return YTHON as the string plus 1. Okay, your string became YTHON excluding the first character. Okay, now num underscore consonants function will be called with this particular string YTHON. Now this time it will check with the character Y, which is present at the 0 index number of this string, and since it is also another consonant, so it will return THON plus 1. Okay, your string will become THON and 1 will be added. And again num underscore consonants function will be called with the string THON, and this time it will return HON plus 1 because T is also a consonant. Now again num underscore consonant will be called with the string HON now, and here it will check for H whether H is a consonant or not. Yes, it is a consonant, so it will return ON plus 1. The string will become ON. Now the next recursive call is like this. Num underscore consonants will be called with a value ON, and it will check for the string O, for the character O, whether it is consonant or not. Since it is not a consonant, so it will just return that string excluding the first character. 1 will not be added. Okay, so it will return N. So now your string becomes N, which will be passed as a parameter in num underscore consonants function in the next recursive call, which will return one empty string plus 1. Okay, excluding the first character, the string becomes empty. Okay, then finally it will meet the base case. That means if your string becomes empty, then it has to return 0 and your execution will stop over there. And the values will be added like this. First it has returned 0 in the last execution call. So 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 then plus 1. So it becomes 5. So finally it will return the output as 5, as there are 5 number of consonants in this string. Now write a recursive function that prints a geometric progression or GP with first term A, common ratio R with n terms. And you have to input A, R, N in the main part, and your geometric progression is like this. First it will print the value of a, then ar, then ar to the power 2, ar to the power 3, and so on till ar to the power n minus 1. The values will be separated by a comma. Okay. So as you can see here, the first term is a, which is nothing but a into r to the power 0. Okay, r to the power 0 becomes 1 and a into 1 is a. The next term is nothing but a into r to the power 1. Next a into r to the power 2. So on like this. Okay, so we'll do it like this. First we will take the values of a and r as input, and next we have taken another variable t. There we will give how many number of terms we want to print. Okay, so if you want to print, let's say 5 number of terms, then you can just take the value as 5 like this. Okay, now we have defined the function like this. The function name is, let's say, gp, and it is taking 3 parameters a, r and n. Okay, now the base condition is like this: if n equal to t, then it has to exit from the function. Okay, that means n is equal to the number of terms that you want to print. Okay, suppose if you want to print 5 number of terms, and when n value will become 5, then it will stop over there, it will exit. Otherwise, else part, it has to print a into r to the power n. Okay, with a comma. Okay, that means the next value will be printed in the same line because we have given one end statement over there. Okay, now it has to return gp of arn plus 1. So this is a recursive call to this function gp, and here the parameters are like this: ar, and n becomes n plus 1. Okay, so every time the recursive call is made, n value will be incremented by 1, and it will stop when n value becomes t, same as t. Okay, now we are calling the function gp, and we have passed the values like this: a comma r comma 0, because we have taken the initial value of n as 0. Okay, and we will take the values of a and r and t during runtime. So once you run the program, it will ask you to enter the value of a, let's say it is 2, and suppose the value of r is 3, and number of terms, let's say 4, because I want to print 4 terms. Okay, so you can see the output is like this: 2, 6, 18 and 54. Okay, 2 is like this: 2 into r to the power 0, as you can see here, so that is nothing but 2. The second value is 2 into r to the power 1, that is 3 to the power 1. So 2 into 3, that is 6. So like this it has printed 4 terms. Now write a recursive function that calculates the sum of a geometric progression gp by changing the function of part A and input a, r, n in the main part. Okay, the same thing, but there we have just written the sequence, but here we have to find out the sum of the sequence. Okay, so we have taken a, r, n as input in the main part of this program. Then we have defined the function gp like this by taking a, r, n as the parameters. Now the base case is like this: if n is equal to 0, then it has to return a. Okay, now the next part is like this: it has to return a into r to the power n plus gp of ar n minus 1. So here the recursive call is made to this function gp with the parameters ar, and n value is decremented by 1. Okay, so like this, the number of terms you have passed as n. So once n value will become 0, then it has to return simply a. Okay, so we have called this function gp ar n minus 1 because we want n minus 1 number of terms. Okay, so we have passed the value over there as n minus 1. So once you run the program, suppose the value of a is 2 and value of r is 3 and value of n is 4, then you'll get the output as 80. Okay, so it has calculated the sum of 4 terms like this. Now implement the recursive functionality and determine how many digits a positive integer has by repeatedly dividing by 10 until the number is less than 10. Test it with the values 15, 105 and 15105. Okay, you can see we have defined a function over here, digits, which is having one parameter n, which is one integer, positive integer. Now your base case is like this: if n is less than 10, that means n is a single digit value, then it has to return 1. Otherwise it has to return 1 plus digits of n floor division 10. That means every time the recursive call is made with the value n floor division 10. Okay, so it has to return 1 plus digits n floor division 10. Now we have called this function with three values, 15, 105 and this value 15105. Okay, now you can see the output is like this. Number of digits in the first case is 2, second case is 3, third case is 5. Okay, so every time the recursive call is made, your number becomes n floor division 10. That means one digit is deducted from this number and that is added as 1 over there. Okay, like this it will continue till till your number becomes a single digit number. Then it has to return the final value as 1. Okay, so this is how you'll get the output. Now write a recursive function that has a parameter representing a list of integers and returns the maximum stored in the list. So you can see the function max underscore lst defined over here and having a parameter L, which is a list. Okay, now the base case is like this: if length of L equal to 1, that means there is a single element on this list, then it has to return that particular element, so it has to return L of 0. Otherwise, m is a variable which is assigned with this value max underscore lst with a parameter L1 colon. So that means this is a recursive call to this function, and here the list becomes L of 1 colon. That means the list excludes the first element from the list. Okay, rest of the elements are present in this list. Now if m is greater than L of 0, that means in this variable is greater than L of 0, which is the first element of this list, then it has to return m. Otherwise it has to return L of 0. So this is your code to get the maximum number from this list. So we have taken the list as input at the runtime, and once you run the program, let's say the list entered is like this, containing some numbers, then it will give you the output as 9, which is the largest in this list. Now the same function can be done by using a built-in max function. So we have just defined the function max underscore lst by taking the list as its parameter, and if length is 1, that means it is having a single element, then it has to return that particular element. Otherwise it has to return max of L of 0 comma max lst L of 1 colon. So here there is a recursive call made to this function, and it has to return whichever is maximum among them, L of 0 or the rest of the elements. Okay, so this is how also you can get the output. Here you have to take the list value as input while running the program, then it has to print the maximum value present in the list. Now here ends the solutions, the practical book of chapter 6, that is recursion, and we have discussed all the questions over there. If there is any doubt, you can put it in comment section, and stay tuned for more solutions and do subscribe. Thank you.